Welcome back. This is a special meeting of the Council of the City of San Juan Bautista. Public comment will be taken on items only on the agenda, and we will have public comment during that item when it comes up. The consent agenda, may I have a motion on the affidavit of the posting of the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Thank you very much. Motion by Council Member Friels and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Freeman to approve the posting of the agenda. Action items: authorize a financing agreement. Oh, sorry. Thank you. May I have a roll call? Do we have any public comment in chambers on the posting of the affidavit? Any comment on the posting from Zoom?
Anyone who wishes to speak on this item, please raise your hand now. We have no hands raised.
Thank you very much. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Freeman,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Action items. Authorize a financing agreement with First Foundation Public Finance, providing for issuance of Series 2023 bond anticipation notes in the amount of $14.6 million to construct the city's sewer forced main to Hollister.
Thank
City
you, Mayor.
Manager.
Mayor, members of the City Council. At our last meeting, we received the results of an RFP that we conducted, trying to select a finance firm that'll support us with interim financing for our $18 million sewer force main project. And with that, our finance team is on the call tonight. Cameron Weist, our bond counsel, Dmitry Semenov, our municipal advisor, and Wendy Cummings, our CPA. And we all work together to finalize an agreement with the firm that was selected and to put the terms that the council saw at the last meeting into a formal agreement. The goal is to have this closed, much like you would close escrow on your house, by mid-February, because it's required to have this wrapped up in time for our bidding for our force main project, which is now completely designed. And I wanted to also, credit Bob Rathy for reviewing this and making sure that it meets his standards as well. So with that, Dmitry, did you want to talk about this item and summarize it for the council?
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, members of the council. I will actually defer to Cameron Weist, the bond counsel, because he's the one that prepared the documents. And if there are any questions on the financial issues, I can definitely answer those. But for the legal part, I'll defer to Cameron. Thank you.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. The item before you is a resolution that's that proposes to authorize the form of the financing agreement and then designating authorized representatives of the city, i.e. the mayor, city manager, city attorney, and such, so that all the blanks and all the final terms and conditions of the financing agreement can be filled in prior to closing with their approval. The financing agreement itself is really a document that's just designed to get the city what it needs in terms of the financial security for its project, for its wastewater construction project. We worked hard to whittle the covenants down to protect the city best as possible. And I would defer to your city attorney for any further comment on that aspect. But ultimately, this financing agreement is really one of a securities offering, so that really we call it a loan and we talk informally about a bank, providing the loan. But in essence, what you're doing this evening is approving a securities offering privately to this institution. So we're going to be issuing bond anticipation notes. They're 3-year notes. We're issuing these notes on a drawdown basis, which means that they're going to be equivalent to a line of credit, so that the city's not incurring accrued interest for the total amount of the line of credit until they need the money. So that's an important nuance here to save the city money. As I said, they're 3-year notes. So the idea here is that they're an interim financial vehicle. And ultimately, we want USDA to be comfortable with the takeout aspects of these notes, and they are. We worked with USDA and many other issuers in the state of California. They vetted these documents in the past, so we're confident that they're going to find these acceptable. But that is still a condition to make sure that the money is spent in accordance with the USDA's desires, and there is a requisition sign-off process that's required. So for each draw on the line of credit, before the city is able to get the money, it's going to have the city manager or mayor sign a requisition that the funds are going to be spent on acceptable allowable items pursuant to USDA's requirements. And it's an easy process, but it's one of formality that you just have to take the steps each time you'd like to draw down some money on the line of credit. So again, 3-year notes, they don't have a prepayment penalty associated with them, so you're able to pay the notes at any time. So if there's grant funds or other funds that become available, it's expected that those monies, if the city so desires, can go ahead and direct those monies to pay down this line of credit as you proceed forward. We talk about an amount of $14,600,000. That's really a not to exceed number. We don't know exactly. I'm sure Dimitri has pretty solid figures on this, but ultimately it's going to depend on the timing of the grant monies and any other monies that might be targeted towards outside of this loan agreement that are available to pay down the loan. Now, the USDA's portion of this on the takeout measure is estimated to be about $10,600,000, or roughly thereabouts. So it's expected at the end of this construction period, whether it be a year or 2 years, there's going to be a new proposal to City Council, new legal agreements for a 40-year financing. And again, another securities offering. These would be in the form of revenue bonds on a long-term basis, 40 years. The interest rate is roughly 2.5 to 2.75%. And these, at the time the construction is complete, the new revenue bonds will be issued, and those funds would be utilized pursuant to escrow provisions to defease or to prepay whatever outstanding balance of notes remain at the end of the construction period. So there's some other provisions in here that we can get into. I know it's been a long evening for you. It might be better time served to direct legal questions maybe to your city attorney, or possibly Wendy or Dimitri on the financing side. I'm happy to answer any of their securities questions of a legal nature on the legal agreements, but I think it might be time well spent to go ahead and see how the council feels about this, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
So in summary, I can just share with you we were looking at an $18 million project. We have secured $1 million in a federal grant through Jimmy Panetta's office, and with the help of our state legislature, recently a $3 million grant in June. So that means that the USDA is offering to help us with the balance of the budget of the $14 million. About $4 million of that would be a grant, and $10 million of that would be a loan. But the USDA will not provide that money to us until we're ready to produce the long-term financing. So this is a short-term construction loan at about 4.93% interest. That was the best rate that we could get. Dimitri described to the USDA how unusual it was to see rates almost double in the last 6 months. And they wouldn't give us any help requiring us to move forward with our interim financing. It would be great if they would offer us a loan in the grant now, and we could skip this step. And we appealed to them, and Dimitri can speak to that if you have questions. It didn't work. It didn't carry any weight. And so here we are having to carry this short-term loan for a couple of years till we get our equipment functioning and built. So That's just a summary of the big picture for those who aren't aware of the details.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments, concern from chambers? Thank you. Questions, comments, concern from Zoom land?
If anyone wishes to speak at this time, please raise your hand by using the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. We have no hands raised at this time, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Friels.
When do we start paying the bank that we're getting the loan from?
So the loan comes with semi-annual interest payments. The payments will be due on April 1st and October 1st. And we would only start paying once we start drawing the funds. If the project is delayed, if it takes longer to complete the project, we will not start paying until we start submitting the draws, and we would only pay interest on the amount that we have drawn on.
That was my next question. How much are we going to have to pay?
It all depends on when the draws are made.
Okay.
So, and the goal is the financing plan, as the city manager described. We have a loan, we have a grant from the EPA, we have a grant from the state. That's $4 million. Then we have the $10 million USDA loan and a $4 million USDA grant. And that's the order in which we envision spending the money. So first, the first $4 million of the project, to the extent possible, will be funded by the grants, the EPA and the state of California grants. And we may have to draw on this line to tie the city over for a month or two until the grant funding is available. Okay, and then as soon as the grant funding is available, we'll pay down the loan. And then from that point on, we will start drawing up to $10 million on for project costs, and that will be paid off by the USDA loan as soon as we reach the USDA loan amount. And then the last $4 million of the project will be paid from the USDA grant after this interim financing is paid off. So that's the flow of funds, if it makes sense.
Okay. No, thank you. That clarified a bunch. I never thought I would say $14,600,000. Unless I won at a lottery or something. Ooh. I think that's right. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Freeman.
Excuse me, thank you, and thank you, Scott, for answering or asking those really big questions. So I'm only left with one to Don here. About how long do you think it'll take once we start digging to finish the project? Ballpark guess.
14 to 16 months. The goal is to be done by June 30, 2024.
But at the same time, what we have with this interim financing is if the project does take longer, we have up to 3 years to complete the project.
Thank you. No further questions.
Councilmember Morris Lopez.
I have no questions. Thank you for the presentation and the work. And I think Councilmember Friels asked the questions that everybody probably wanted to know. And hopefully the cost of the project does not go up.
Too late. Thank you very much. Councilmember Sabathia.
You mentioned that the USDA loan would not kick in until we reach that loan amount. Is there any danger that we won't and that we're stuck with this round of financing?
No. Go ahead.
I don't think so. I think 18 is been a solid number for us now, especially since the right of way is acquired and the environmental is 9.9% done. So I don't expect any huge mitigation measures or any litigation over right of way. So I think we've overcome most of the obstacles. We're ready to rock on it.
Okay, and the question still stands. If we don't reach that loan amount, are we somehow stuck with this higher interest rate?
So do you mean that the project costs come in lower than anticipated?
Yep. just rainbows and blue skies, if that happens, are we stuck with a higher interest rate?
So the way it works is the last money to come through would be the USDA grant, the last $4 million. So to the extent that we have savings, the grant amount will be lowered. And then let's say we have amazing bids and we come in even below that, the USDA will take out whatever needs to be taken out and will transfer to the USDA loan.
Okay, awesome.
So could we use the grant to pay? We can't use the grant to pay off the loan.
No, the grant will start kicking in after the loan has been repaid. Yes.
Yeah, wishful thinking. What is that? Rainbows and blue skies. Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments, concerns from the council? Okay, may I have this is our second reading. We're going for adoption, correct? May I have a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing and directing the execution of certain financing agreement providing for the issuance of the City of San Juan Bautista Series 2023 wastewater revenue bond anticipation notes in a principal amount not to exceed $14,600,000 and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
So moved.
Thank you very much. May I have a second, please?
Seconded.
Thank you very much. Motion by Councilmember EJ Sabathia, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Freeman. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Freeman,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you very much. Action item 2B, Planning Commission, Historic Resource Board appointments. Councilmember Sabathia.
I'd like to start with the 4-year term expiring in December 2026. Is that okay? Even though it's
Right. We went back and double checked everything, and just so the public knows where we left off, we thought we had 2 4-year terms and 2 2-year terms. But research into the matter, it reveals that when we have 3 council members up for election, we have 3 commissioners up for reappointment. So that the terms match. So we had 3 council seats up for reelection in November. Therefore, we have 3 seats at 4 years. And we appointed 2 of those seats and swore in 2 new planning commissioners today, last week and today. And so we have no new applications since that time.
okay. At this point, I think the ad hoc committee would like to put to a vote the appointment of Michelle Newkirk Smith for the 4-year term.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments, concerns from chambers? Please step up to the microphone, press the big green button or the big button so the green light goes on, and state your name for the record, please.
Cara Vonk, resident of San Juan Bautista. I urge the city council members to appoint Mr. Dan DeVries. He is your most qualified applicant. You are going to need somebody who is knowledgeable in land use planning. You're going to have some big developments coming before the city, the Health Foundation, and the Christopher Ranch, I guess phase 2. Dan is extremely knowledgeable, as you know. And I know there have been some issues in the past, but I can tell you that I served on a citizens committee that developed the historic preservation ordinance. And Dan was the chair of the planning commission at that time. And he was an excellent chair. And we took that ordinance, parsed it. On each meeting, we went through a section line by line, item by item. changes were made, things were amended, there was discussion. It was all very transparent, all before, the full public. And after 6 months, we decided we really had a good ordinance. And Dan is the one who shepherded that through. So really, you need somebody who knows land use planning. And I don't think any of your other applicants would raise up to the level of his knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments, concerns from Zoom land?
Anyone wishes to speak on this item, please raise your hand by using the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. We have no hands raised at this time.
Thank you very much. Council, Councilmember Freels. This is on Michelle and the 4-year term. Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem.
I have no questions. I've known Michelle for about a year now, so I'm in favor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Morris Lopez. Thank you very much. Thank you. May I have a roll call vote, please, on the nomination for Michelle Newkirk Smith for the 4-year term for 2026?
Mayor, I didn't get a first or a second. There's no motion made.
Sorry, can I have a motion to appoint Michelle for the 4-year 2026 term ending 2026?
So moved.
Thank you very much. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Motion made by Councilmember Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Freeman. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Freeman,
Yes,
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
No,
Councilmember Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. The 2-year term recommendation is for Dan DeVries. Questions, comments, concerns from Chambers? Yes? No? No?
Jody.
Monk again. You
Thank you.
heard my pitch. I really think you need somebody on the planning commission who knows land use planning. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments, concerns from Zoom?
If anyone wishes to speak on this item, please raise your hand now by pressing the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. I have one person to bring in. David, when you come in, please unmute yourself and your 3-minute timer will start.
Welcome, David.
I just want to say I can't hear anything coming from Jackie Morris Lopez. She's hard to hear any comments. I
Thank you
wasn't
very
able
much.
to. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns from council, Councilmember Freels?
No question.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Raymond?
No questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Yes, comment, if I so may, entertain, endorsing, Mr. Dan DeVries, to sit on the planning commission. I agree with Ms. Cara Blanc. Mr. DeVries brings a wealth of knowledge and working knowledge, in the area of land use. And I do agree that we have some pretty big projects that are coming to our small community, as you can already see, whether or not they tie in with our ATP plan. That will be soon seen, but he can lead the group, he can work with the group, and he brings a wealth of knowledge. He's also been in the community for many years, and he's worked on several committees at the county level, city councilman, planning commissioner, and also on our SOI and urban growth boundary. So I do endorse Mr. Dan DeVries.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Sabathia?
No comment.
Thank you. May I have a motion for Dan DeVries for a 2-year term ending in, 2024?
So moved.
Thank you very much. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Morris Lopez, seconded by Councilmember Freels. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Freeman,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabathia,
No.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of the applicants who applied and send out a big congratulations and welcome to Commissioner Aranda, Commissioner Maderos, Commissioner thank you, Newkirk Smith, and Commissioner DeVries. Thank you all very much. Welcome. Good luck. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you very much. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Friels, seconded by Commissioner Morris Lopez. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Freeman,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Norma.
You're
Thank
very
you,
welcome.
Attorney Rathy.
Thanks, everyone.
Please note for the audio record, the meeting has adjourned at 8:55.
Bob. Thanks, everyone.